Hi, all of you. I'm Shabir from Edukemy, and I'm very happy to have one of my students here with us. We have Nittin here. So Nittin, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And Nittin has secured rank 32 this year, and he has among the highest marks in geography, 293 marks in geography. And what's very impressive is the marks he has got in the interview. He has got 195.
Yes.
And this is a very, very high mark. I mean, not a common mark in most, because lately we see people score in the range of 170, 160, 180s. Most score in 160s. 195 is a very, very good marks. So, Nitin, क्या किया था आपने इंटरव्यू का? I'm very curious. What did you do? What was asked? What was the approach in this type of marks?
Sir, during preparation time for interview, my approach was to stay genuine and be confident in what I am, and whatever personality traits that I have, or anything. The focus was not to learn anything new, but to consolidate my present personality at that point of time, and it has developed over a period of time. So we don't even can change that. Staying confident and staying genuine was the first thing that I believe helped me. And second thing I think is for this exam and for every stage, it is how you perform on that very day.
Exactly, yes.
So it and positive mindset is something which you can be ready for, which you can train, and that I kept while going for the interview on that very day. And even you should ignore any, like on that very day you are very peculiar about that this should go in that manner, and it doesn't go, it upsets you, but you should not let that happen. And one thing which I remember is very important, the place that we were sitting there, we have the central hall,
Yes,
the
yes,
circular
we
hall.
all, yes.
So there is one poem by Rabindranath Tagore which is placed there.
Okay.
And I really appreciated the strategic placing of that, and it is about where the head is held high and mind is free, where the knowledge flows freely. I read that entire poem, and I was very grateful that we are selected for that.
Yes.
And we are being interviewed for that, and we have to build that.
आपने consistently दो तीन word use किया है. One word he has used is that original, authentic वाला जो है. It's a advice probably we hear across, and you have used so many times. Can you give me an example of what question was asked to you and how you think you answered that with authenticity?
Regarding authenticity and genuinity that a person shall maintain. In fact, sir, I was asked this question by R.M. Chobe, sir. He was our chairman, and he asked me a question: what is that thing that kept you going? And even while we face difficulties and disappointments. So I told him what I actually felt at that moment, and in fact that I had felt throughout preparation, and it was, okay, you must stay focused to your goal, and it is a very good distraction from the day-to-day issues, day-to-day problems. What happens is we will ignore those problems, and they will ultimately get solved, or they can even persist. But one shall keep in mind that what is at stake for him, why am I here, and where I wish to go. So these were the questions that I had kept in my mind throughout the preparation, and I told him as it is without going.
You
for
basically
anything else.
spoke from your experience.
Yes.
That's what I want all of you viewers to appreciate. Okay, when Nitin is talking about some of the issues, you realize he comes from like a deep understanding of what's impacting him. His The fact that he had taken cognizance of that poem in that waiting lobby in the UPSC, the fact that he talks about he was authentic. He says that the exam ka focus itna deep tha, other things eventually don't matter or they'll resolve themselves. And you use a word gratitude.
Yes.
Can you explain why do you say so, and what is the thinking behind this?
Sir, I have seen, sir, the people who have appeared for the exam, In fact, sir, so many teachers, you, sir, we have seen, and the kind of dedication and hard work they are capable of doing. And amongst them to compete and to come in the list, it is very, it is thing to be grateful for, and
Yes.
it cannot be claimed as my own doing. And that's why gratitude is the thing that I should be thankful for, that it happened.
Beautiful, very well said. In fact, this is one way of dealing with the stresses that we have. अगर वो realization है that not everybody comes this far, even the small milestones.
Yes.
Okay, it's because of a lot of factors converging, and somewhere the gratitude, yes, you are there and you enjoy it, you revel in it, you're thankful for it. I think all of that, I think, keeps you
Yes.
going. I remember you telling me, Nitin, you could have qualified a bit earlier,
Yes.
but maybe COVID probably disrupted it.
Yes.
Okay, so can you explain what you think you could have done better? Okay, and what distracted you or disrupted your preparation?
Sir, that again, sir, that is again being said with a hindsight. But still, I felt was due to COVID. Even after the first wave, there was lockdown in Delhi, and I had to go home. And I stayed home for 5 to 6 months. And after the second wave, also I stayed there for 4 to 5 months. And these months were not very productive, that I feel. And by staying here, you are constantly reminded of being outside of your home, and being working for something that you must do, and you see all other students
Yes.
around you as well, so that increases your productivity. But that was something that I
That
felt
got
that,
broken in the
yes,
COVID.
and when flow breaks, it takes more time to get to that flow again.
Why I ask this question to you, Nitin? I always believe that this preparation is about a momentum.
Yes.
It's about a momentum you create, you develop, and if that momentum is impacted or the flow gets impacted, that can be disruptive.
Yes, like humans, as humans, we tend to have momentum. In fact, we kind of resist abrupt changes.
So, will you agree if I say that the examination is more about being in the process and not letting distractions impact you? Will that be right?
A lot, sir. A lot of it is very true with respect to this exam, and staying in the process as well as being conscious of the larger picture as well.
Excellent.
So that is very crucial, that one must have this bird's eye view, that where am I going, and then being dissolved in the process as well.
So, my viewers, I will request all of you, don't just listen to the conversation. There are some insights you can take for yourself. The idea of authenticity, आप जो पढ़ाई करें, आप जो answers दें, it must somewhere resonate with you. You, your person, who you are in terms of experiences, the gratitude. I'm sure he has the gratitude कि भाई COVID इतने लोगों impact किया, but yet I think he has managed. Some of us did not manage. Okay. And third is focus of momentum and letting distractions not impact. So all of this comes very authentic from you, Nitin.
Yes.
Okay, very happy talking to you about that. So that's the interview story. Did you prepare something for the interview? कैसे बोलना है? Okay, I'm sure it's not only contemplation, right? It is something more than that.
Yes, sir. We cannot, like, sir, preparation for anything cannot be completely abstract.
Yes.
And it has to have tangible preparation. And yeah, I had attended a lot of this mock tests, around 7 to 8. And initially I was thinking of only few mock tests, but my senior, he advised that you will have a question bank with you if you are more scrutinized with different boards. And I feel that helped me. And apart from that, sir, what I did was your DAF, you should analyze for yourself. Whenever we fill our DAF,
Yes.
first of all, it should be authentic, and it should be diverse to the extent your own personality allows. And you should not be putting any bluff onto that DAF. After that, you prepare each and every part of your DAF, and that is very important. Even though I was not asked much questions on DAF,
But the preparation gives you confidence.
yes, faith in preparation is a word that I would
And
use.
there's no other way to develop faith other than studying the
Yes,
paper,
hard
studying
work.
the questions, involving yourself
Yes.
in the process.
Yes.
Excellent. So what to take back is the practice element. Okay. I've seen one problem, Nitin, कि बच्चे practice तो करते हैं. I've seen people give tests, do mock sessions, and write answers.
Yes.
But the difference between practice and a contemplative thinking practice,
Yes.
where a practice is a strategic one.
So that's why I was saying you should have that holistic view as well. While I'm dissolved in the process, while I'm going through the process, I must not be lost in that process.
Dispassionate,
Yes.
come
Yes.
out, see
Yes.
what you're doing, again
Yes.
go back in, analyze your performance,
Yes.
again go back in.
So this passionate thinking, in fact, a word comes that disinterested observation.
Involvement, yes.
Yes, we do that in logical positivism. We have studied that, and it is kind of something that I became aware about while studying geography. So same goes for life as well. Like when you are preparing for this competitive exam and a lot of things are at stake, then you have to be very rational as well. You cannot be emotional and
Of all the people I have talked to, interviewed, discussed, once have qualified, one thing stands out very common. कि आप लोग जो qualify करते हैं, each of you is a unique personality. I don't see too much of similarities, but what stands out is each one of you is a thinking being.
yes.
Okay, and I think that's the culture I will want people to understand and appreciate. Examination mechanical काम से नहीं होने वाला. So you show that at least.
Yes, that's very true, sir. In fact, we have to discover a lot of things about ourselves through the process, and it cannot be blind following of instruction. You would have to construct instruction for you. In a way, we will construct that during preparation. So a lot of thinking and conscious
Effort is required.
Yes, conscious effort. That is the right word.
But एक और इंटरव्यू में ले रहा था एक और टॉपर का some time back. उसने भी वही कहा था कि मैं सुन लेता था टॉपर्स की बातें, but I never followed those
Yes,
blindly.
That's very
I would always understand, apply what best applies to him.
Yes.
This also goes for you.
Yes, sir. In fact, some of the words that others say, you are sometimes on the same wavelength, and when they are saying, you get that word, actually realize that word. And other times it is just they are saying and we are listening. We are of course giving attention to that, but we cannot be applying those things
Mechanically.
Yes, we have to realize, and then only we have to apply. Otherwise, we have to discover for ourselves. And in that terms, it is very helpful also seeing toppers video sometimes, and it can be distracting as well. So then again, the conscious effort and the thinking comes into picture, whether I should be doing this or not.
This particular thing of जो contemplative preparation है, जो सोच के समझ के, आप ये use किया करते थे newspaper reading में भी.
Yes, sir.
How did you do current affairs? Because I believe that's one of your strength. Newspaper पढ़ना, current affairs. How did you manage that?
For current affairs, what I did was I used to read newspapers thoroughly, and one must be very selective in choosing the topics that I need to read, and that selective ability comes from rereading your syllabus.
Excellent.
One must go through your syllabus in a week or
syllabus, previous year's questions.
Yes. When you are that much involved, you will know that this topic is relevant or not. And but when you know a particular topic is relevant, do study that with very deep understanding, what actually the writer is saying. And
कभी आप current affairs आपको stress करता था? I used to enjoy the process.
Initially, it used to I used to stressed about that. I might not, that I should cover more topics on that or more material. But after first attempt, I realized it is not that they're not asking that much. Whatever they are asking, it is very. It can be said as the application of static onto the contemporary times, and they will ask related to that only. So, and that can be easily covered with newspaper. And a lot of questions have come directly from, and I could remember that I have read it in that day.
all my toppers that we have interviewed, including you, have stressed on this aspect. Newspaper reading ultimately should become a part of your personality.
Yes.
rather than a stressful chore जो करना है टिक मार रहे हैं.
Yes. In fact, sir, at times it was the stress releasing part.
Excellent.
Newspaper reading. And the reason for that was a newspaper is not about current affairs only. A lot of
many more things.
Yes, a lot of ability to read comprehensions and understand them, ability to construct larger sentences with logical flow, and it improves vocabulary as well. And apart from that, analytical ability, it develops, like editorials that they write. So they have written different dimensions in their editorial.
Identify the dimensions.
You will identify once you are understanding that. Initially, we don't identify those dimensions. We think that he's talking about particular thing. But when we realize, we appreciate the article. So that happens with...
exactly, that's the right word. You don't have to read an article, you must appreciate the article.
Yes. Sir, apart from current affairs, newspaper plays very important role in preparation, and it helps one in understanding the comprehension in a better way, and ability to appreciate what different dimensions the writer is giving in his article. And it helps in developing vocabulary and writing sentences, which moreover, in fact, when we write a paragraph, there should be a logical flow in that.
Article समझ में आता है कि कैसे flow बना है.
It should be a consistent flow, and it helps in essay writing.
Essays. In fact, editorial articles are the best examples of essays.
Essays, they are essays themselves.
2000-3000 word का होता है. More or less, you work from that.
So it helps.
I remember you telling me that newspapers, आप सिर्फ current affairs नहीं, आप cuisine भी पढ़ लेते थे, आप sports भी पढ़ लिया आपने, कहीं general topics भी पढ़ लिया.
In fact, sir, I think that is very personal thing, but I used to read certain articles that come on Sunday. We have separate magazine. So that was kind of thing that I did apart from preparation. So it was kind of stress reliever for me. So rather than going on social media or...
So newspaper, current affairs cannot be a mechanical work.
Yes.
It will totally stress you out.
Yes.
You can't handle it thereafter.
It is too much, and it is like we cannot be... it is... I find myself very impossible to read and remember the magazines, weekly magazine or monthly magazine. So I chose that organic way of reading the newspaper and staying in touch.
You use this word he has used by just talking to him. अब बहुत ये word use करते organic.
Yes.
That's something that you grow on.
Yes.
Slowly, gradually, आप develop
develops on its own. It is more closer to your spirit, I would say, or essence of what you are doing.
By the way, to tell all of you, Nittin has had interest in philosophy also. उन्होंने philosophy का भी course किया है. And all of that helped him somewhere. So it shows the way you articulate. So आपने पढ़ाई mechanically नहीं किया, आपने actually imbibe किया है.
Yes, sir. In fact, this I have been doing right from the school education, and I find myself very different on that. And I think that is very personal. It is not something that one must do, but for the entire exam preparation, one must be very authentic. So it was that part of me that I stayed authentic.
If school students are listening to us or college goers also, आप ये सीखें कि पढ़ाई को as mechanically नहीं किया जाता है. You absorb it, you live it, you experience it, and that probably builds your personality. I'm very impressed. I've not heard till now anybody scoring more than 195. There must be some of them not saying no, but I'm sure yours is among the very high scores in interviews. Okay, congratulations again, Nittin. I think Nittin, now let's come back to our discussions on geography, because Nittin was my student. He was part of our courses also, and I'm very happy to say he has among the highest marks in geography. So, आपने geography क्यों लिया? First question is always in back of the mind, because geography is although a natural option for a lot of engineering students. But आपका क्या thought था geography? Why did you take up geography?
So the basic thoughts were very similar, that we, as having with science background, so we realized that geography is a lot of sciences involved in that.
Yes.
And a lot of like especially in physical geography, and it is very interesting as well. But once I went into the subject and I came to realize that subject is a lot more than that, and it was new for me. But still, I went further because it is very helpful in covering GS, other GS portions. In GS1 we have geography. In GS3 we have a lot of geography.
Environment, disaster
Yes.
management,
And,
agriculture, economy.
Yes, urban development management. These are the things that people, even if they do study, I think they might not be able to appreciate that much as a geography student appreciates when they say mixed land uses. So we have so much background in that, and that helps a
Geography
lot.
society का part है paper one. You also have inequalities and social
Yes,
justice
yes, sir,
topics.
yes.
Demography.
In geography, we have all those topics, and
तो आपने क्या geography खुल के across topics use किया आपने?
sir, I have used in GS1 a lot, and frankly, I would say I might not be able to say that I have used here or not, because it becomes a part of you.
The organic thing.
Yes,
It's part of
and
you.
you are using, but you are not consciously using. So I am sure that I have used it a lot, and even in essay papers, for example, there is one thing in geography we talk about how history has been influenced by geography.
Yeah.
This is a statement which can be used a lot in essays. Whenever we give certain examples, how human actions are determined by outside environment. So that was the result of geography. So it becomes part of your thought. So it naturally comes.
So it was a good amount of learning across topics that you were able to integrate in geography.
Yes.
Now that Nittin is my claim to fame, I'm using his. So Nittin, very honestly, if you can share, how did we help you or we support you or I as a teacher or Edukemy as institution? How did we? If you have something to share there.
Sir, in fact, I would say I had learned geography from you as a teacher only, and the essence of the subject is the something that we have to grasp, and that it develops over a period of time. And I have listened to your enrichment classes, to your other map and classes as well, and discussion classes. So there are certain statements that a teacher makes, and we are not always able to realize those statements. But sometimes when we are reading that subject again, it kind of strikes you. So there are a lot of things that I have learned, and not just geography, in life in general. So I would say I'm grateful to you as a teacher, and later on Edukemy as an institution that has provided a lot of insights about.
Thank you so much. Very, very humbled here. A lot of gratitude there, Nittin. It's actually in some ways our privilege that Nittin is our student. Fact तो ये है कि हम लोग सभी को पढ़ाते हैं. It's not that I'm doing something special only for Nittin, but then I think it takes a personality like Nittin who can take up some of the points taught and apply it. It comes back to, it is not the teacher, it is not the subject, it is the student who studies with a contemplative mind, with a thinking mind, who applies to his preparation and succeeds. Nittin, one question to you. आपने ये भी कहा that आपके preparation में आपने geography में, because you scored quite a range of mark there. अब preparation में आपका regional approach बहुत strong था. आप बार-बार वही बता रहे हैं regional synthesis. So what do you mean by that, and how can students enrich geography answer writing with that, if you can help?
Sir, in fact, this was the biggest difference in my first mains and my second mains, and in fact, you have a lot of times used this term, and while studying geographical perspective, we come across how a lot of geographers have stressed this as the essence of the subject, but I did not realize it till my second mains. And while preparing for second mains, I had done a lot of, in fact, even before that, before the third prelims as well, this question continues to go on, and I used to think that geography as a subject, if its essence is it if it is to be defined as something, then it should be regional synthesis.
Okay.
And the reason for that is geography is descriptive in nature. It takes a region and describes that region as it is, as it works as a whole. So that was something I thought that it would be a very beautiful insight that I could use in my answers. Like, because I had scored low.
You tried to synthesize
Yes, sir.
locations,
Yes.
places.
So how it happens is that you draw regional maps, you take regional case studies, regional small cities, and then you show how culture, how physiography, how climate of that region, how human aspects of that region interact with environment.
Excellent.
Aspects, and how that synthesizes together and addresses my case study. For example, if I were to talk about, let us say, Himalayan region and its the climate change and its impacts in the Himalayan region, then I have to talk about physiography, about its geology of that region, and about the cultural aspects, how people are living there, and how the changes that people make as we humans we are making in the Himalayas, and how they are interacting with them, and how we are having new issues and new
ये
problems.
सब आप maps में दिखा पाते थे?
With
regions
maps,
में?
you show regional maps, and inside we write these things. I used to write those
It
things.
comes natural to you.
Yes, sir. With that, initially, I have to say that with a conscious thinking towards that. There was a conscious effort towards that initially. But after practicing this, it comes naturally. You will write about this.
So if I take the crux, you have used regional perspective.
Yes, sir.
You're able to link the location, the places with whatever
In
happens.
fact, sir, sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but when I realized that this has to be in my answers, and when I again went through the notes and again through your videos, then I realized that everyone is talking about that so much. Like teachers, those who have been into the field, they are talking about that right from the beginning. It is me as a student who realized then. And then I could use the very same notes for
In different
that
way.
Yes.
It's all there.
Yes, sir.
It's just a matter of that, I think, realization,
Actual realization.
epiphany, that enlightenment suddenly होता
Yes,
होगा
sir.
कि अरे ये तो यहीं पर है.
Yes, sir.
It happens. Many times we are teaching, even we do not realize कि the answer is right there,
Yes,
and we are struggling around.
Yes.
So excellent. That's how he managed his. अच्छा नितिन, आप एक दिन में कितना पढ़ाई करते थे? It's a common question students ask.
Sir, it varies a lot actually, sir. But I was full time into preparation, so I could give at least 7 to 8 hours on daily.
In general,
Yes.
is this question even a valid question?
Sir,
Because ये बच्चे they ask us कितने घंटे पढ़ाई तो हो जाएगी. Did you study like
Sir,
that or how?
it is something that happens on its own. It is not something that we as students do, that I have to study for this many hours. It
You
doesn't.
study till last long
Yes,
study.
yes, that's the thing, that I could study this much hours, but the action was not to do this only. We were studying and it stretched up to this in general. And at times, I would say, we feel down and we are not that much enthused about the preparation. So we can take a break.
Break also.
Yes, a day off.
It can't be mechanical,
Yes.
okay, fixed schedules.
Yes, sir.
आप रिवीजन कितने बार कर रहे हैं?
Sir, I have done a lot of, in fact, this is one thing I would say, that the essence or the realization of the subject grows on you, but you must have some foundational knowledge about that.
Absolutely.
And for that, this revision is very important. And currently, I think I have revised this geography around 6 to 7 times, the entire notes, at least. I have revised that much. I think.
आपको क्या मेमोराइजेशन में प्रॉब्लम होता था? समझने में क्या? 6,
Sir,
7,
I
10
was
times?
very good with understanding the concepts, and that I have been from the beginning. That I consider it was a plus point for me while studying geography, and in fact, a lot of concepts are there. But the trick is not about understanding at that moment. It is about revising and
internalizing
that.
Yes.
And revision helps a lot. Revision is a must.
I'm asking this why, because students ask us and they feel frustrated कि सर उनका एक बार में नहीं हो रहा है सर, मेरा मुझे 2-3 बार लग रहा है.
Yes.
And consistently we've asked this question to all the toppers और सबका यही आंसर है. You must be revising as many times as required
Yes.
till you really connect with the topic.
Yes.
It can be 1 reading, 2 readings, 10 reading required. I don't think you bound yourself कि 2 दिन में हो जाना चाहिए.
It is you feel the requirement. Even in fact, if I have to study again, I will be requiring a lot of revisions even now, and that builds your confidence. When you are confident,
Practice
then
and
you are
revisions.
authentic as well. When you are confident, so revisions bring confidence to us.
अगर मैं आपको पूछूं that 1 or 2 mistakes that many aspirants do, and maybe you also have done,
Yes, sir.
what is that 1 or 2 mistakes which, if you could avoid earlier, or if you had noticed that earlier, your preparation would have been much different? Can you identify something of that kind?
Sir, first of all, reading syllabus and knowing about syllabus
Excellent.
is very important. And I have, I won't say a very mistake, but I think I had not given that much focus on that earlier. But that was very important learning for me. Second, I would say practicing your answers and brainstorming your answers.
Okay.
That is something that we usually don't go for. We do brainstorm while studying notes and while studying books, while understanding a concept. But when that has to be applied in an answer, that also needs to be brainstormed, that how an answer is constructed out of that. And in fact, we end up writing that concept when it is being asked in a question. But they might have asked its applied part. But we end up writing that the concept itself.
So it's not about practice, and it's about practice and a very thoughtful practice.
Brainstorming, yes sir. That
Think through क्या लिख रहे हैं, नहीं लिख रहे हैं.
Yes, sir.
In fact, that's what we're encouraging students. हमारे test series में भी हम बोलते हैं Nitin, that you must sit down and analyze the question paper. बार बार analysis करते हैं questions. I'm very happy you're saying that. Syllabus जानना important है. So all your students, आप लोग mechanically courses ना करें. Don't just enter a classroom or a teacher or a book. See the examination, okay, and understand the depth required. So I think the term that I now am using more often is the concept of contemplative aspirant.
Yes.
So सोचो और काम करो.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Nitin. It's excellent learning all of this from you. Any words you have for our aspirants? ये लोग struggle कर रहे हैं. इस बार का prelims was totally another level.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any suggestion you want to give them? You have been through this process.
Sir, regarding the unpredictability that UPSC has, in fact, sir, interview is the time when you are in direct touch with the institution that is taking the exam. So I had grown a very high self-esteem for this institution, and the kind of unpredictability, it's hats off to them that they have been able to stay ahead
above ahead of the curve,
ahead of the entire
absolutely
industry. But a student as an aspirant, what we can do is we can prepare for that. We cannot be very predictive, or we should not try to predict. We have to prepare by looking at the syllabus, what is the requirement, and if I fulfill that, if I'm willing to do that, then I shall surely prepare for it. And the past question papers, the recent experiences, they are always a learning. And whenever it is unpredictable, it is for all. So staying confident in your preparation, whatever we have done, and having faith in that, it should be the key to hold on the very day of the
that's
exam.
very deep, Nitin. हम जनरली यूपीएससी को गाली देते हैं या we show frustrations कि क्या पूछ देता है, ये भी पूछ लिया, what are they doing? Nitin has a very different take. The fact is, the type of question UPSC asks, it's ahead of its curve. I mean, all of us are playing catch up.
Yes.
And the questions are really remarkable. The way they frame the choices, the whole idea of only 1 pair correct, only 2 pair correct.
Yes.
Okay, they are literally challenging, and they want the best of the brains. Very nice. He says you respect that, and the game lies in the process.
Yes.
Okay, it's not that yeah, betta mark process samajhna. Okay, that's very nice. Thank you so much, Nitin. It was lovely talking to you, and I hope our viewers are learning from this. We'll get back to you. We'll bother you again in some other way. Thanks again. My wishes to you.
Thank you, sir.
He's in proper IAS. Our prayers with him, our wishes with him. You become a great officer. Okay, and inspire and lead the people and the programs the way we expect out of a great officer.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Nitin, for joining us. And thank you, dear viewers, listening to us.